Hello there, I am Solace. Like Tiffany did last week, I will be doing an introduction video this week for Melody's channel because Melody has still been unable to work on the video that she's been planning for the past few weeks. So this will essentially count as filler until then. We apologize for the delay. Anyway, I will be answering the same questions that Tiffany answered last week, and like Tiffany's video, this will be largely unscripted, so forgive me for any stutters or corrections. At any rate, let's go right into this. Question 1. What is your name? As I said in the beginning, my name is Solace. Question 2. Who are you in our system? Unsure of quite how to answer this. I wouldn't exactly say I'm a caretaker of any sort. I suppose the best way to answer this would be to say my role in the system. Recently, we reconfigured our roles and responsibilities in the system. I am responsible for waking us up in the morning at a decent time and overriding our usual laziness and tiredness in order to make sure that we are up and getting ready for the day at said decent time, as well as eating breakfast. I also tend to handle the chores, since such things are very tedious for Tiffany and Melody, and Tiffany especially tends to get distracted or otherwise lazy while doing said chores. I am also tasked with making sure that our mental health is in check. So those are my duties: getting us up in the morning, taking care of chores, and maintaining a healthy mental health. Question 3. What does your form look like? I will be putting pictures in the video at this point, just like Tiffany did in her video. I am a robot. Please forgive the background noise. I'm a robot, specifically an android. I have silver hair, silver eyes, a very pale complexion. I'm about 5 feet 6 inches tall, relatively slender, but not unhealthily looking so. I look like the average human, but of course, as I said, I am an android. In the description of this video, I will be putting a link to a description of my form and its inner workings that I have recently come up with. My form has actually changed a lot over the past several months that I have been officially part of this system. I will not go into the detail about my origins or the reason that I have come into existence because that is somewhat personal and I do not wish to expose our host on this YouTube channel. At any rate, question 4. How old are you chronologically and how old is your form? I do not identify with a physical age. I suppose the best answer for this would be that my form is aged or appears to be aged somewhere between 18 years and perhaps 30 to 40 years. So rather ambiguous, rather vague, but I don't personally identify with an age. However, as far as chronological age, I am approximately 3 years old, or at least somewhat 3 years old. Again, my origins are rather complicated, but I will not go into that in this video. Question 5. What gender and sexual/romantic orientation are you? I do not identify with a gender. I consider myself to be agender. And as for sexual and romantic orientation, I am asexual and aromantic, which means that I do not form attractions or have a desire to form relationships of a sexual or romantic nature. Question 6. How would you describe your personality? I would see myself as someone who is very focused, very self-disciplined, very organized, and very goal-oriented. I like things to be neat and orderly, I like to be productive, and I enjoy being mentally stimulated. I will go into more detail about this in later questions. Question 7. What is your favorite color, animal, food, and drink? My favorite color? I don't have many favorites, but I would say that I am particularly partial to very neutral colors, such as white and gray. And as for actual chromatic colors, I am particularly partial to yellow, since it is, I believe, the closest to white and gray. As for my favorite animal, I don't believe I have one, though at very rare points during my existence I found myself at least somewhat attracted to the aesthetic of birds, though I wouldn't necessarily say that they are my favorite animal. My favorite food, I suppose that I enjoy white rice and Cheerios, specifically Honey Nut Cheerios. They're both simple, healthy, and delicious. My favorite drink would have to be either milk or water. Question 8. What interests do you have? Well, I don't have many, but I do very much enjoy puzzle games. So I play a lot of those when I have fronting time and nothing pressing to do. I also surprisingly enjoy being productive. As I said, I enjoy doing things for our system, such I have helped in the past with job hunting. I have helped Tiffany focus on writing articles, and I have taken care of laundry for her as well as cleaning the bathroom, which, although repetitive, is a rather though it is a bit repetitive and tiring, I find it to be at least somewhat enjoyable. At the very least, I am pleased to be doing something productive and worthwhile. Question 10. What does your room look like in the headspace? I don't want to give too many details about my room, but it is essentially a white room. Looks very much like an office on one side, and like, I suppose, a very simple dorm room on the other side. I do have a desk with a computer, which doesn't get much use. That's on one side in one corner of the room. In the other corner of the room, I have a bunk bed with a sitting area underneath it. And up against one of the walls, I have a bookshelf that's sort of not suspended in the air, elevated above the ground and attached to the wall. Question 11. What do you like about... Oh, I believe I've skipped questions. Question 9. What things do you dislike? There's not much I particularly dislike, though I do dislike people who are rude and unreasonable. And I dislike order. I dislike chaos and disorder. Should have turned off those notifications, but at any rate. Now, question 11. What do you like about each of your headmates? Oh dear. Let's see. Tiffany, our host. I very much like how spirited she is, how positive and caring she is. These are very admirable traits. When she sets her mind to something, she's very capable of doing it. Like, for example, when it comes to her writing. When she gets writing, she gets very absorbed in it and is very passionate about it, and very determined to finish what she is writing. Unfortunately, this determination tends to wear off with her attentiveness, unfortunately. I also like how, I believe I already said, how caring she is. She's very caring and empathetic, which is certainly a very useful trait to have considering how social she is. What I like about Melody is that, like Tiffany, she's very spirited. But unlike Tiffany, she is also very confident and has a sort of inner strength that I don't often see in Tiffany, where she's very headstrong, which can sometimes be a bit troublesome, but she does mean well when she has her mind on something, when she wants to protect something. She is very adamant about protecting that something, which is very good because our host is, I don't want to say defenseless, but sometimes she needs to be defended, and Melody is one that is very capable and determined to defend her. Question 12. What do you dislike about each of your headmates? Tiffany, unfortunately, despite her strengths, is very, very flawed. She is very distractible, which is understandably not her fault due to her disorder, which I think she mentioned in her previous video, ADHD, which makes her very prone to distraction, as well as prone to impulsiveness and childlike behavior. Though these things are not her fault, she sometimes lets herself succumb to such things rather than fighting against them. This is likely due to her history with being made to feel bad about these things, and I suppose as a counter to this, she has learned to accept it rather than fight against it, which I suppose is very admirable in some ways, but a hindrance in other ways, because it holds her back from reaching her fullest potential. I believe that's all for Tiffany. That pretty much encompasses everything. What I dislike about Melody, she's very rash, she's very brash, very, what's the word? Very aggressive at times. And she can be quite abrasive when speaking, especially when she's in a particularly sour mood, which is unfortunately often due to how easily things can set her off at times and how emotional she tends to be. She is definitely quite emotional, and she has an issue with not expressing these emotions properly. She tends to lash out at people, unfortunately, which I can understand is probably simply part of her personality and also part of some coping mechanisms that she might have developed either as a result of her past or of her experiences over time. I don't believe there's anything else that I need to mention, though I feel like there is something else that I should be talking about. I'm not sure what else to talk about. I presume that Melody will have us do intro videos again at some point in the future when we have a longer list of questions and likely better equipment with which to produce these videos as well as record the audio for them. So we will likely be doing better and more thorough introductions to ourselves in the future. As I said at the beginning of this video, Melody has been planning a video for a few weeks, particularly a Tulpa Talks video, which I'm sure many of you are hoping to see because that is likely what you subscribe to this channel for, as opposed to things about our system. But worry not, she will be coming out with a video for that, though I believe she will be making a placeholder video this upcoming weekend, in place of a much longer video that needs a lot more attention than we are currently able to give with our situation. We are currently trying to fix things with our system and essentially get our life back on track. So please be patient with Melody in those regards. I believe there's nothing else for me to say, so I will say thank you for watching this video, and subscribe to Melody's channel if you would like to see things about tulpas, or you are a friend of our system. Your support is very appreciated. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely day.